Hey Masked Singer fans, what's going on? Joey Contino here, and yes, last night was the Season 10 premiere of The Masked Singer, and I have to admit, it was a lot of fun. We had 5 masks compete: Gazelle, Diver, S'more, Cow, and Rubber Ducky, with one person going home. Instead of a recap, I figured let's go ahead and go through all of the clues that we had from last night's episode, and we're saving the pitch correct audio for another video, so if you're here for that, stay tuned for the next video. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. Let's get started. So yeah, last night was an awesome episode. 5 amazing people performed. One person was sent home. Not sure if it was the right person, but at the same time, it kind of is what it is. Now, if you haven't watched the episode yet, spoil. I mean, we are a spoil channel. That's all we do here. We spoil the show. But Rubber Ducky was sent home, and it was Anthony Anderson. He had a lot of fun. I mean, he couldn't sing. You could tell that on stage, he was dancing, he was doing his thing. I think it's funny though, because we kind of predicted that this costume was going home. I just figured that the hardest costume to sing and dance in is usually the first one to go home, because, you know, wearing that for a couple episodes and singing and dancing is kind of hard. It's kind of easier to let that person kind of go home. All that being said, we had David Spade stop by to promote his new TV show, Snake Oil, which was right behind the episode of The Masked Singer, which I did watch. That was a lot of fun. If you watched it, let me know in the comment section. All that being said, we have 4 contestants left: Gazelle, Diver, S'more, and Cow. Let's recap all of the clues. I think we're going to do clues a little bit different this year, just to kind of change it up a little bit. I mean, we've been doing this for 10 seasons, and changing it up makes it more fun on my end. For this year, I decided just to kind of put a list together explaining what we saw, some of the clues, and then we're going to separate these videos with the pitch correct audio, which if you don't know, let me explain it for you now. You know that in these clue packages, it's the real celebrity speaking, but Fox doesn't want you to hear the real voice, so they take that audio, they kind of pitch it up or pitch it down and speed it up or speed it down. That way it doesn't sound like them. But I'm an executive audio producer in New York City. I work in radio. And so I was like, oh, I can slow this down or pitch correct it so that it sounds normal. And so I do that with every single voice that we can find. And that, along with the clues, we could determine who is under the mask of the celebrity. Maybe you've got a couple people in mind on who you think it might be, but hearing the real voice kind of helps out, because you kind of go, oh, well, it's not that person. Their voice is higher, or their pitch is lower, or their voice has an accent. So, long story short, that audio is going to be in a video later on, so right now let's just break down the clues. Starting off with Gazelle. Gazelle said, like a gazelle, I've always leapt headfirst into opportunities to be on the stage. Which, okay, so it means that somebody actually performs on the stage, singing, maybe acting. She said she saw a Broadway show at the age of 6, which inspired her to perform, and later took part in a nationwide talent competition. So, we could be talking about American Idol, though another character later on mentions Idol. She's known for doing a cheer move in front of a judge, which had a lot of people think maybe that could be some kind of glee, kind of like pointing in that direction. We saw a Hawaiian shirt. Then she says it was super bad and made her almost swear off of singing for good, but music was always her first love. So something bad had happened to her. She must have not did good in a competition. With the show, she's excited to face her fears behind the mask. A couple things that we saw: a sign that says auditions today, a poster says hello doll, which could be hello dolly. Then we saw pom-poms, 3 statues of bulldogs, and a desert landscape. Then we had the extra clue. She says, well, actually it was a vinyl record, and it said movie soundtrack on it. And she said, not only do I act in movies, but I also sing in them. Some really good clues there, right? Next on our list is Diver, and I know you guys are already saying who you think the Diver is. We might save that for another video. He said, diving into a completely different persona feels like a nice escape. I've been everyone's favorite person to hate, and to be honest, I get it. So, I mean, that is honestly a really good clue, especially if you watch a lot of reality TV. He says that he's the first to admit that he made mistakes, and that he did it for love. Another really big clue if you catch my drift. He says it hurts when people judge him and don't know him, and he becomes everyone's scapegoat for every bad dude they've ever known. I mean, these are some really, really good clues. He says that he hopes that he will melt away people's hearts when he hits the stage. And then we saw a couple really good clues. We saw a newspaper headline that said extra, 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 read all about it. An hourglass, a knight with two lions on its, its little logo. And then a compass pointing towards MW, which there is no MW, so kind of a clue right there. His extra clue was a magazine cover him that says, Diver opens another business and 11 million eyes on Diver. He says of this, the more people talk about my business, the more I want them out of it. Which is kind of interesting, right? I mean, seems like someone who is in reality TV, and I mean, his business is everyone's kind of business. Next is Smores, which is my favorite dessert, so it automatically makes me love this costume. He says, gather around campers for a tale of the swashbuckling s'more. Swashbuckling, isn't it like a pirate thing, right? Just like this many-layered dessert forged in fire, my life has been all about blazing my own trail. It's a good clue right there. He says he started out on a quote-unquote rocket to fame from obscurity to major heartthrob status within a matter of weeks. So maybe it is a TikToker of some sort, maybe some kind of star. Millions cheered me on step by step until I became a household name. Travel a lot, making headlines with fellow adventurers and idols. This could be someone from American Idol. Hung up my cape, but I'm still hungry for a new adventure, which is why he's on The Masked Singer. We saw a lot of clues in here. We saw a rocket launch, an icy tip jar, a Chicago deep dish pizza, a masked soda. We saw a Christmas tree with an angel on top, which could mean that this person probably has a very big Christmas song. And then his extra clue was a film reel that said starring Smore. He says, of it, you could tell I'm very talented on and off stage. The next character was Cow, and I have to say, this was a fun character, right? He says, cows like me don't make it out of their pen. When I was younger, I felt destined to stay home and live out a simple life in black and white. He knew that he wanted to stand out and had dreams of being a quote-unquote big star. They had a lot of trouble with their emotions until they discovered they could write and put that emotion onto the page. Onto the page. So we're talking about a songwriter? We're talking about a musician? We're talking about a writer, like a book writer? Right? He said that after that, everything changed. The gift eventually led him to a #1. I won Grammys, so a singer, traveled the world, and made hit after hit after hit. I guess you could say I'm kind of my own cash cow, which is kind of clever. I have to say that is kind of funny. Then we saw baking supplies, a two-step coffee, which, two-step? A counter set on July 4th, a book called The Classic Culinary Cuisine for Cows, which is kind of funny. And then a cake recipe, a Las Vegas fridge, and a strawberry shortcake. Well, strawberry cake. I'm calling it a shortcake, just because why not? And then we saw aviator wings, so maybe someone who can fly a plane. The last clue we saw was a Blockbuster ticket, and it said, one of the better things known about me is that I started with a movie. Because it's a cow, right? Anyway, those are all of the clues from this past episode, episode 1 of season 10 of The Masked Singer. If I missed anything important, let me know in the comment section below, and do me a big favor. If you have any idea of who you think these people are, do their name or list their character like Cow and I think Dash and who I think it is. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. Stay safe. I'll see you later. Bye.